Alright guys, it's Fergus Ryan here and we're out in beautiful sunny Portugal, Lusa, and I'm going to give you guys a bike check. So for the next 2 years I'm on privateer bikes and hunt wheels. It's a P2 or medium sized frame and full 29er at the moment. I am planning on trying out the 27.5 wheel mullet setup, but at the moment I'm really happy on just full 29er. So the privateer frame, it is the privateer 161, and as you can guess by the name, 161 is the length of the travel on the rear. I'm running stock 170 fork on the front, but gone for the Fox 38 and the Fox shock just because those are my go-to. And with the fork, we've gone for a 44mm rake. I just prefer that for when I'm, for the trails. I think it gives me a bit more grip on the front end and allows me to maneuver the bike a bit better. Yeah, so on the wheel front, I've been running carbon wheels for a number of years now, grown to really like how direct the feel is on the wheels and the stiffness you get from that. So for this year I have the Hunt's all mountain carbon wheels, and then I have no inserts and Max's downhill tyre on the rear and double down on the front. I prefer to go for my ideal setup is a Minion DHR on the back and then the Assegai on the front. If it gets really wet, I tend to go for Assegai front and rear, but my go-to setup for most of the races is DHR rear and Assegai on the front. So keeping these lovely tyres inflated is the PT sealant and of course some lovely pink PT's valves. Again, love the setup of this. The PT's valves having the spoke key and also the valve core tool. As an enduro rider, it's amazing to have any tools that I can carry on the bike and not having to carry myself. So yeah, love the addition of those, and obviously having them in the lovely pink colour means they're easy to find for me, and bit of a tart when I build my bikes. I like them to look nice and shiny, so why not go for pink? So in terms of sponsors this year, so I have Privateer and Hunt wheels. Obviously that's amazing setup, and then my longest standing sponsor, Crank Brothers pedals. I've been running those for years and years, absolutely love them. I run the Mallet Ease, and then in terms of the rest of the build, I've got DeWard Design, one of my friends. He runs some amazing titanium stuff, and I've got his stem and also his bottom bracket on the bike. But the rest of the build has been up to me. It's been really cool. Like Hunt Privateer basically said, choose your parts, you run what you want, that makes you feel like you're going to go fastest. So this is the setup I've come up with, and really happy with it. Wouldn't change anything for the world really. So with that in mind, with the Drivetrain, I've been running SRAM for ages. As a privateer, the SRAM stuff's really good. The guys at SRAM are on hand to provide some support. It's just really cool. But from a setup perspective, although it costs more, the AXS stuff is so easy for me to run. I literally fit it, forget about it. I don't have to worry about cable tension in the race or anything like that. I just have to remember to charge the battery and go. So yeah, that's my setup. I go for the X01 full group set on the Drivetrain, and it works seamlessly. It's really good, and yeah, really stoked with it. Moving on to the cockpit, as I mentioned, I've got DeWard Design with his stem cap, but then Bergtech again. Bergtech I've been running for the last 4 years. Really like the sweep on the bars. I run 770 on the bars. It's got 8 degrees of sweep, and then I'm running the 30mm rise on the bars at the moment. I have been playing around, as you can see I've left a little bit of stack. I have been playing around with a 20mm rise and then a slightly higher stack, but for now, and what I'm really happy with is 30mm rise and then bringing the stack down slightly on the stem. I've got the ODI grips. Again, really happy with those. Been running those for about 10 years now. Sort of tried a lot of other grips, but really happy with those. They give you a real good amount of comfort for when you're doing the longer sort of stages at the EWS, but also they're thin because I hate a thick grip. It gives me arm pump. So yeah, really like those. Brakes wise, this year is the first year I've ever run anything other than Shimano. I've been running Shimano my entire riding career really. Gone for Magura this year. basically came on my test bike, rode them and absolutely loved the way the brakes felt, and so we've gone for the MT7s. I've got the single finger brake lever. We've got a 203 front rotor and a 180 rear. Just so much power from the Magura brakes that, you know, the slightly smaller rotor on the back just gives me a slightly more modulation in the rear. But yeah, I really love like how consistent the bite point is and how close you can run the levers to the bar. Obviously with that consistency, it gives you a nice bite point. So yeah, I really like those. So moving on to the seat and post, I'm running the 1UP 180 dropper post. I've got really short stumpy legs, so don't need any of these new sort of 200mm droppers, although they are available, don't need that. So 180 dropper post, and then fabric saddle, I've gone for the scoop saddle, just purely because I want something that's super comfortable and find that this is really good for, you know, big days out and, you know, those sort of 6-hour days that we have at the EWS races. Obviously helped by the steep seat tube angle on the privateer, just means that I'm, you know, really comfortable when we're going up those long climbs. So there you have it guys, there's my Privateer 161 bike check for 2022. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is my setup, I'm so stoked on it. If you have any questions about the setup or any questions about why I've chosen certain products, please drop them in the comments below and I'd be happy to answer them.